Damn. Come on,
Bye.
Dan.
So nice
You
to
are
see you both.
you are the next
Finally.
contestant.
I'm so happy to see you both.
Awesome, awesome,
It
awesome.
is Wednesday. We all pulled up. We want everybody to pull up to the cafe. Come on in, come on in. Oh, hey Doc, I got my it's not a cup of coffee, but I got this is my it's a shallow. I think that's the name. I don't know if it's called a shallow or not, but it's called a cooler or whatever. But this is my family. We have a foundation. We have a food pantry. So I got my tea, not coffee. I got my tea inside here
Very
today.
I have mine too, you know. It's in my daily fight.
Oh, you got yours too?
Yes. No, it's just,
Absolutely.
I'm just excited to be here with both because I really believe we have not just a purpose, a call, right? But we have something else to add today to the audience. And it's really nice when we are able to join together to brainstorm, but also to really add value to people. That's the most important thing.
Finally, yeah.
I love it.
Agree with you. Finally, we're here, three of us. I was looking forward to have you both. I mean, three of us connected, both on my screen, so we can have a pleasant conversation around a very important topic, and that is why character is needed today more than ever. I know that we spoke about it last week, but it's not just a topic. It's not just something that we talk about and then we just close the book, you know. It's like if we have to think of it, it's not just a book that we read and then put back on the shelf. It's something that we have to be living by. We have to be living by. It's a concept, it's a law, it's a principle when it comes to something that we need to be using on a daily basis. We need to remind ourselves. It means that it's anchored in the principles of life. It's anchored in life itself, right? So that's why I always say that leadership is a wonderful principle of life. It's one of the universal laws that we need to take into consideration, and everything that is related to leadership, we have to use them as a reminder. And the center of leadership is character. So that's why we are going to keep on talking about character and from different aspects, from different dimension, from different point of views. Character is character, and we need to listen to and hear all the perspective that goes around this wonderful center of leadership. So I just wanted to mention that. I'm glad that we are all connected in here so we can share a wide perspective around this beautiful thing called character in the character-driven leadership. And I'm going to pass it on to Dr. McKinsey, or let's say we spoke already, so let it be ladies first, right? We'll go to Atala. Atala, the question is why we need character today more than ever.
I really believe because we're in evolution, and I do believe that also we all need it, not just like, you know, in corporations. I even believe we need it in families, for example, because we can be leaders sometimes in an association, hospital, you know, company, but that leader is not being a leader at home. I have seen many times that happen. So I really believe that character is something that we build with self-introspection, with determination, with courage, but also with the awareness of what I do need to do to become a better leader at home, at business, right? Because they both come together. I think it's necessary. I think it's a call. I have seen many times, you know, in my personal experience, leaders in politics, government, big business, but really lacking leadership with their families. So their families are, you know, very weak leader at home. So to me, it's like a call. I see leadership is something so broad. We can become also the leaders of our own thoughts. Sometimes we are not the leaders of our own thoughts, our own well-being, relationships. So to me, it's a topic that has so many spectrums And if we can just start becoming more aware about how can I become a better leadership means also better human being with values, right? Home, family, corporations, associations, companies, you name it, humanity, society. So I think it's something that we should all implement on a daily basis. What do I need to become a better leader? What do I need, or what kind of values do I need to implement to become a better human being as well? Family, life, business, all is connected. And if you are lacking in some areas, you are lacking in many others at home. I have seen many times, many times, conversations with top entrepreneurs. In many ways, top entrepreneurs, businessmen, but honestly, very poor leadership skill at home. So we need it. It's something that is like a call. It's necessary to improve humanity, relationships, families, companies, services, care in many areas, or I will say in all areas.
Awesome. Awesome. So you're saying that the weakness of leadership and the lack of leadership is because character is not there.
I will say that, you can develop character in some areas, and sometimes we all are very good in certain things that we know we're very, very good. But in many other ones, we don't even touch those areas, unfortunately. And I have seen more and more, So that's what is very important. Sometimes develop this kind of self-awareness, self-development, right? Which areas do I have that I know I need to start working on? And many times what comes to my mind, top leaders in a business, very poor leaders in family, at home. I have seen a pattern. So when people come to me and I hear their stories, we try to work and implement values, same time at home, because those families are in crisis. So that's what I have seen many times. And those leaders also are lacking a lot of consciousness about how they can take care of their well-being, because sometimes they end in a hospital bed with heart attacks for the stress level as well. So this is the whole picture that I have seen. Leader, business, lack of leadership in family, a lot of stress, a huge gap, not taking care of themselves. So they end then really with a lot of stress in a hospital bed. And in a very young age, sometimes 40 years old, 45 years old.
Awesome. I love how you connected all these issues that are happening because of the neglection of character development. That's awesome. Dr. McKinsey, when Atala was talking, she mentioned that like in some areas in their life, like people, or let's say the leaders, in somewhere in their lives, they are performing well as a leader, but they are lacking their leadership in other areas. So what's your input on that?
Oh, well, I mean, she made, just several excellent points. And I've been talking about leadership since the late 1990s, because going into this 21st century, it was something that I saw in corporate America when I was in corporate America that was lacking. Like Atala was saying, you had people that were, and what I found, and this was my experience, you had people that were in the position of leadership, had the title of leadership, but didn't have a clue as to what leadership was and what it meant. And there were two reasons I think that there was a lack of leadership. One has to do with what we're talking about today, which is character. And part of that was people being in the position of leadership and wanting the title. They wanted the title, they wanted the position, they wanted all of the perks that came with being a leader, but they didn't want to have the responsibility, the character that needed to come along with being a leader. And they they had it, but they're on the other side of that was those that were in those positions, but they weren't prepared or properly groomed for the leadership position. And that goes to what Tyler was saying, even in the home. We've dropped the ball, and I've said this about my generation. I know y'all much younger than me because I'm 56, but my generation has dropped the ball in preparing the next generation and even the next generation for leadership. And that has come because of, you know, either not being prepared themselves, not being taught themselves, or just taking and not thinking about character and how the the role that character plays in being a leader.
I love
When you
what you
think of
just said. Yes.
Mhm,
I it came into my mind. I'm sorry for interrupt you because I really have seen this pattern as well. You know, sometimes leaders they think about also about the future, but in the
mhm,
present, they are lacking that leadership about what can I do better to implement, you know,
Mm.
values at home, in
right,
business, with my employees. Sometimes it's good to have a vision for sure, to have a plan, you know, a strategic, but things are happening on the spot. And
mhm,
the vision is still in the present. You need to solve problems in the present. You need to implement values in people that is in front of you, family, outside, because those are the problems that they have not been solved, unfortunately. And
yeah,
that's creating a lot of lack of leaders even in society as well. Even in our own kids, if you think about it, if the father is not there, he's not going to be a good leader because who
mhm.
is leading to this kid or to this teenager, right? So it's a domino side effect, I believe.
And that has it's both in the professional life and in personal life where leadership is lacking, where the character is lacking. Just and I don't know how much you all are on social media, but when you look at what social media, I can see the lack of leadership because you have a lot of people they they don't have a clue. And when I listen to some of these entrepreneurs and even business owners or those that are looking to be able to have a business started or even are in business, it's like how are you still in business thinking the way that you're thinking and doing the things that you're doing? I said because it's just not. I said there's so many things that I could point to today that shows a lack of character
Please
and a
do.
lack of leadership.
Please do. Please do.
And well, the one that I think all three of us may know that Doc, you might not be as familiar because you're not here in the state, but Atala, I'm sure with her being in the state, she's heard about P Diddy Combs, Puffy Combs. He's on trial right now. The music genius, and I'll call him a genius because he is, music, but he's on trial to on this day because of his lack of character that came out in his business and the way that he was running his business. If he were if he were a person of character, he wouldn't be on trial right now. But
Mm.
because the lack of leadership in his life, he has, he made decisions that weren't beneficial to him on the personal side, but then on the professional side as well. He has pretty much destroyed his brand, his business, and his brand because of the decisions that he's made with having the lack of character. And when we look at the need and the importance of why leaders are needed today is so that you don't have people that when they get into these positions of leadership, they aren't abusing the position. They have a clear understanding of what it represents to be in those positions, and then also what it takes to be a leader of character. Because that's not an easy thing to do. You know, it's not an easy thing to do because people get caught up in money.
That's
They
right.
get caught up in the power. They get caught up in the power. They get caught up in a lot of things
In the
that
ego.
if you aren't grounded in character, it will eat you alive. This world, this life will eat you alive it doesn't care. It will eat you
And
alive. So I'll
can I
say,
add something to that? If I
Go
think
ahead.
about a leader in business, but also I think about a leader in parenthood, for example, we are lacking a lot of character there, unfortunately, because I have seen also parents that they are, because this mindset on controlling, of, always creating something in business, that mindset, it goes to family, but on family is different because we need to connect first. And sometimes leaders are not connecting in their business either with their employees. They
mm-hmm.
are ordering. They are just, like not adding really value, not really kind of knowing like what's going on with their life, because that's important. You need to know what's going on with your staff, first of all. In that way, you build connection, empathy right away, and people will listen more to you and really will be supporting you even more. And you're going to find better solutions, creativity, productivity, all those things. But the same thing happens in families. This is a problem that unfortunately we are ignoring it. That's what is more problems right now in society. Think about it. In the United States, happens quite often. Parents come to me sometimes, they explain me all the things about business, but then come with also other things because unfortunately they have not putting the emphasis, the love, the care in something that is priority. We're working so hard to build something for family, but family is being destroyed, unfortunately. So this is a call, I believe. We really need to create more leaders with character. We all need to improve in some areas, but this is something that is creating a conflict in society. It's affecting families, it's affecting leadership. And I really think that is something that we must need to put attention, because it's not something that we should procrastinate for tomorrow. It's something that is urgent today.
So what do you think? Like, do we need more awareness, or does people already know that leadership requires character, but they are avoiding it because it's hard?
I would say awareness. When you become aware about something, it's easier to change everything. Or something, some areas. When you ignore it, that's where you don't even create consciousness. It's like a person who has maybe an illness and doesn't take care of himself because it's just easy, it's pleasant to eat, although you know that maybe that food that you're eating is wrong, right? Same thing happens when we're not become aware about, maybe I need to improve in this, maybe this is affecting my life, this is affecting my health, this is affecting my family. You will keep going doing the same thing. I believe it's about awareness first.
Yeah, but what I mean is, do you think that people don't know about it, so we need to bring awareness to it, or people already know that character what it takes to become a leader, but they are avoiding it?
No, I think it needs both. When you are so used to do certain things in a certain way, it's a habit of thinking, of doing, of acting, responding, living. So awareness / character needs to be implemented, needs to be working through. I believe character comes with also self-development, self-growth, right? So I think they both come together.
All right.
Yeah, and I do think you need both because you have a generation that is aware, and already knows because they've been in the positions of leadership. But you have those that are, let's say, in their maybe 40 to 25. They're just coming into these positions of leadership. They're learning how to be leaders. So you have to have both in order to be able to say, look, the ones that are, that are older or over 41, yeah, you've been in positions of leadership by that time. Usually by that time you've been in position of leadership. So you know what leadership is. You know what it takes. Now I think and then the younger generation, they're just getting to know. They're just becoming learned. And because I think about when I was in my 20s and I was in my 30s. Yeah, I'm in these positions, but I didn't know. I have a clue. I'm trying to figure the stuff out as I'm going. So you have to have that awareness that we're talking about. But then you have the others that you mentioned that are avoiding it because they know what they may not know what it takes, but they know the challenges and the difficulties that come with leadership. Being a leader, you'll notice, I'm sure y'all have noticed, a lot of people when they're tasked with doing certain things that are leadership, oh no, I'm not, yeah, I can't, I'm they'll let somebody else do it because they don't want to take
It's
on
so
that
true.
responsibility.
It's not easy. You have to carry on also people's feelings, emotions,
Yeah.
thoughts, right? So it's not easy because the easy thing is to just order, right?
Mhm.
Be very controlling and actually implement fear in your staff. And I have seen that also sometimes in your family. That's the easy thing. The challenge here is like, how do I become a leader with character? That people
Mhm.
follow me because they maybe they admire the values that I am implementing because they connect with me, with the philosophy, with the mission. With That's a very different kind of leadership. That's a leadership that I call leadership with heart, connection,
Mhm.
right? With values, implementation on daily basis, personal growth. That's different kind of leadership. So it's not easy, right? It's a challenge actually.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know that's the thing that I've learned, being an entrepreneur, being a business owner, and having that leadership tag, if you will, that it's like, man, this is it's mentally, it can be mentally draining, it can be mentally exhausting, it can be there are times where you feel as if, it's like, am I doing the right thing? Did I do the right thing? Is this the right way to go? Having the responsibility of making those decisions isn't easy. And
Mm.
it's that's why most people aren't leaders. That's why if it were easy to be a leader, then everybody would do it. They would. But since it's not easy, and with leadership, with being a leader comes a lot of responsibility. A lot of people aren't equipped for that responsibility. They don't want that responsibility. And that's okay. Everybody's not meant to be a leader. It's okay to not want to be a leader. But if you're going to be a leader and you're going to be in those positions, then you should be prepared to lead with character. You should be and character is what's on inside of you. Has nothing to do with what's outside of you, because it's at leadership is, I mean, character is what's at the core of who you are. And I think about that all the time when I think about my what I call my personal value system and my brain value system. That's my core characters. That's using wisdom. It's having a vision, as Atala said, being unique, being committed, being consistent, operating in excellence, being accountable. Those are that comes from inside of you. Those are core character traits that I know I carry with me. So no matter the obstacle, no matter whether it's good or bad situations, those are my stabilizing pillars that I have for me, because I know the decisions that I'm making are going to be made out of that core characteristic traits that I have, and I want that to be conveyed with those that work with me, work for me, and those that I serve. That's what a true leader, to me, that's what a true leader does. That's what a true leader displays.
I love what you just say, Dr. Mackenzie, because it's so true. Sometimes I have seen leaders, they are thinking about themselves, unfortunately, right?
Hmm.
But this is something completely like, uh, first of all, selfish, right?
Hmm.
Lacking the character right
Hmm.
away. But when you start really looking at your decisions are impacting others, that's where responsibility and awareness also comes naturally. Because whatever
Hmm.
decision you are making, you need to make sure that you are not just on your own. Every decision that you make, every word that you speak has an impact in others. So first of all, we need to also understand that every single action that we're making, we are impacting other people's lives, in family, life, and business.
Awesome. Awesome. So, listening to you both, I heard, I mean, like, I heard everything, but the two things that stood up to me is that if you don't lead with character, you're going to face problems that you might not be aware of. And if you are in a influential position, or you're a public figure or whatever, you're gonna end up in places like jail and having problems, and your brand, your identity is destroyed. So this is how important character is. So if you can tell me what other important things that will be happening to the individual who will lead with character. Like we spoke, that character is it's not easy. But what if they decided to lead with character? What are the things that they are going to enjoy as benefits, or let's say as reward? Or
I would say many, because when you start really leading with character, automatically you start really having the support of people. People will follow you, but because they are convinced you are adding value to their lives, they will actually be part of your team. They will create solutions faster. Their energy level will go higher. When you have people with good energy, with high energy, solving problems becomes naturally. More creativity to solve problems. And I have seen this also in families, again, and business. The same thing happened. So when your character is more developed, you use values, right? I use values like empathy, compassion, kindness, connection with people, because when you know what's going on in their lives, they are able to feel seen, heard, understood, right? So to me, that's very important. And I believe that character means everything, right? Your character developed through struggles as well, through the mistakes that you made, but also to the self-development, to the evolution that you have. So I think the benefits are in your well-being, in your health, in relationships, productivity, and energy, solving problems once again, but also having a team motivated, inspired naturally, not by control, but because they feel comfortable in their environment. They feel comfortable about speaking out, about adding value, about implementing even new techniques. So we are talking about a growth mindset, right? That leadership that has a growth mindset has character as well. So many benefits. Yes.
I like that. What would you say, Dr.
And I'll just add to that. I think when you lead with character, you add trust, you add value, and you add transparency to the situation. People will, the people that you lead, they are more likely to trust you because they know that you're coming from a place that, that is genuine. I was having a conversation a couple of hours ago with one of my closest friends, and we've known each other, Jesus, since I'm talking almost at least 30 years now. Yeah, because we met in 96. So next year it'll be 30 years. But we were talking and we were having a conversation about the young football player that just got married. And we were saying, we were like going back to when we were 22, 23 years old. And he was like, man, if I would have, and we brought it back to present day. And he was like, man, if I told you something, today, he was like, you wouldn't listen to me. I said, yes, I would. I said, I would listen to you because we've known each other over a number of years, and I trust your opinion about something. So I'm going to trust and believe that what you're telling me is coming from such a place that it's genuine, and that you're telling me that because you care about me and you're only doing it for my benefit. Yeah, I might be hurt behind it, might not be like, oh man, you just being a hater, this, that, and the other, but I know what you're telling me is coming from a place of me. I can trust that you are saying something not to hurt me. You're telling me something because I trust that what you're telling me is truthful because of the relationship that we have, the number of years that we've had, and what you've proven to me. You've proven that I can trust your word. I can trust what you tell me because I know your character. I know the person that you are. So you build that. You build that by being a leader.
That's just true. You just remind me about something. I was leading patients, right, for many years. And the beauty of that was like after 16 years, for example, when I started, I was able to meet some dear patients last year. And it was amazing. It was like the love, the empathy, but the relationship that we built over the years without even being present in different countries. Unbelievable, unbelievable. I say this is something that is teaching me even more humanity, human connection, right? Character, leading with character, but also with the best intention, the purpose, because people can feel it, right?
Yeah, they true,
So
that's
that's
true.
something that we must become aware about how I'm leading. People can feel my energy, if I'm trustworthy or I just want to get something from that person. So we need to become more aware about all this. Is easy to express it, right?
Awesome. So now I'm gonna ask you a tricky question for both of you. For how long, like, I don't want to, like, okay, we've been connected, like for me and Dr. McKenzie, we've been connected for a long time, but for how long we've been seriously connected, talking and speaking and everything? How long?
At least, it's been at least, what, 2 years?
Okay,
2-3 years,
let's
maybe?
say intensively talking to each other and connected.
Well,
How long?
that's maybe I don't know if it's been a year, has it?
Okay. What about you, Atala?
I think
For
like
how long
4
we've
months,
been?
like 4 to 5 months, right?
4 or 5 months. So my question is, if I told you a story, or I told you something, would you believe me?
I will tell you yes, yes, definitely, because I have a good intuition. People teach you many things, and you can see when a person is genuine or not.
I just wanted. I'm sorry to cut you out, but I just wanted to hear the word yes.
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Dr. McKenzie? Would you believe me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I've been listening to you. You shared your experience, and Atala shared her experience. And I thought of asking you this question because I wanted to point something to those who are with us on the live and those who are going to be watching the replay. One of the greatest things in leading with character is that you can gain the trust of other people regardless of the time frame that you are connected with. Why I mentioned this is because there are so many people who take trust for granted. They think if I know you for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, I can trust you. But if I met you in 2 weeks, like regardless of what Atala just said, Atala said I had a good intuition. That's great, but not everyone has intuition to understand others. It's our job as leaders. When we lead with character, we know that our leadership or our character-driven leadership is fine and improved is when we gain the trust of others in no time, because we are being transparent, we are being real, we are being authentic, and we are being open to others. So this is one of the greatest things that we can gain. And thank you for sharing the experiences you had, because if you did not share this, I wouldn't be talking about what I'm talking about right now. Okay, and I'm sure that this conversation will never end. All right, but we thank you so much for being open to this conversation, guys. We need to honor the time break for everyone else, and of course we're gonna keep continuing talking about character. We have there are different corners that we can talk about in regards to character-driven leadership. So we want people to stick around with us, subscribe to the channel, and just block on their calendar the Table Topic Wednesdays that we will be having, or as Dr. McKenzie always say, the round table. Great things me, myself, I learned a lot from you. Boy, you know, sitting on a chair and just listening is great. You know, I don't want to do, I don't want to do all the talking. You know, I learned from you a lot. Thank you so much for everything you shared.
He think he's slick, Tyler. He think he can sit back and ask us a question that we don't have to answer anything.
It's always good when we're able to express ourselves, also when we're listening. We learn a lot by listening.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to have our conversation resuming next week on Wednesday. We have to, again, honor the time break of other people, and we have to keep it short. So we give all the listeners the time for them to digest all the information. Like for me, I took a lot of things that I'm going to be thinking and reflecting on tonight, since I am writing a series of books right now called The ABC of True Leaders. And I hope that I was able to provoke something in your minds, both of you. And we will keep adding value to each other. And we're looking forward to expand this community called the Character-Driven Leadership Café. And that's it. So if you have anything to close out, we'll start with Atala. What advice would you give, or what word would you wrap up your time with on this call?
I always say just have a coffee with yourself, you know, and just be one-on-one, like be very real, very authentic with yourself, and put in writing what are some areas that you may think that you need improvement, and start taking action on that. In character, in leader, in relationship, in taking care of your well-being, whatever it is, but be very honest, authentic within yourself. That's what my advice.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Atala, for connecting the well-being with the character-driven leadership. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's an essence in leadership. That's great. In leadership, in humanity, in all aspects of life. Thank you so much. Dr. McKinsey, last word.
No, I'll just say this: in your decision making as leaders, when you just in your decision making, whatever the decisions that you're making, when you make your decisions and lead with character, you can't go wrong. Character, you can never go wrong with leading with character. You can't. It may not turn out the way you want, but it can turn out great. But when you lead with character, you can never go wrong.
Love it. Love it. Have you been cheating on my manuscript lately?
No, sir. No, sir.
Awesome. Okay, then. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, for sticking around with the Table Talk Wednesdays, and we'll see you next week.